You don't have to call me sir.
There are risks behind every door.
You know, everybody that comes in, make sure everybody goes out, right?
The risks taken by officers, calculated.
Do not take your mask off.
The risk taken by drug dealers, careless.
You're not going to be able to see in front of your face. It's that dark in there.
You're looking at an exercise showing what can happen to a neighborhood, maybe yours, when the two risks collide.
Comes the night.
If there's a meth lab in the neighborhood, it endangers the entire neighborhood.
John McCarty oversees what may be the country's only sanctioned methamphetamine lab.
It is the best training out there that a law enforcement officer can get.
More than 9,000 officers from around the world fly into the nation's capital every year. The destination? 35 miles south on I-95 in Quantico, Virginia, the DEA meth lab training facility.
You're just trying to be as cautious and as protective as you can.
It's a crash course in meth lab safety.
Pull your harness and then click on and you let your air out.
We followed 2 East Bay police officers through the DEA meth boot camp.
It is probably about 90% of the drug that we see.
Detective Jim Nielsen is an undercover narcotics officer in suburban Concord. The downtown park here, popular with families, is popular among drug users too.
It's all over the place. It's everywhere, not just in Concord, but Contra Costa County and beyond that.
Livermore is 25 miles and seemingly a world away from Concord. Roaming livestock and rolling vineyards surround the iconic small town, but the big city is creeping in. Of the 421 drug arrests here last year, 90% were methamphetamine. This undercover officer is 1/3 of Livermore's narcotics team.
I don't feel like we can keep up.
Meth is a booming business because it's easy money.
There's criminal organizations that are making millions of dollars doing this.
John Donnelly teaches officers how it's done. They learn how to make meth at this Quantico lab.
I would say if you could make a 2-course meal, you can make methamphetamine.
It starts with pseudoephedrine, something you might use for a stuffed up nose.
Anybody can make it. It's on the internet if you want to find the recipe. It's everywhere.
We won't give out the recipe, but the shopping list isn't exactly mouth-watering. Lye, ammonia, red phosphorus. That's the stuff on matchbook strike plates.
I've never seen a drug devastate the human body as much as methamphetamine.
And that's the careless risk. The calculated risk is the effort to fight meth. Lab raids are among the most dangerous jobs in law enforcement.
It looks like just a messy house, but really it is a hazardous dump site with dangers lurking behind every door and sometimes hidden underneath blankets. Take a look, she's got a gun right there. This is the kind of thing that officers face on a daily basis when they go into a meth lab, and that's what this is meant to simulate. There are chemicals that very often officers don't know what they're facing. The training here at Quantico helps officers know what they're getting into and know how to get out alive.
Should you, lay something down?
Collecting evidence is delicate business.
So the objective is to go through this without touching the drugs.
Officers need to be able to navigate the cramped quarters of a meth lab. One false move.
Watch your tank, stay low,
and they could cause a toxic spill. Unlike most drugs, meth is a danger to people even if they aren't users.
If a person or people are manufacturing methamphetamine near them, they are at great risk of becoming contaminated with some awful chemicals.
At Quantico, a building filled with theatrical smoke simulates the worst-case scenario. Concord Detective Nielsen plays the role of victim.
This is a simulate. You processed in the lab went bad.
Inside, a potentially deadly vapor cloud and a victim trapped. You're looking at what the officers see, complete darkness.
Obstacle to the left. I got our victim. Follow me. Go to the line.
What's your step?
It was very dark. Couldn't see anything. I had to feel for the person in front of me to know where I was.
The training is both enlightening.
This has been an extreme eye-opener.
And a bit frightening.
Now that you know what these chemicals can do.
Knowledge is power.
You're now becoming the resident experts.
To beat the enemy, officers learn to think like the enemy. The risks are great. The rewards greater.
I feel like we're making a difference.
When they're able to put a meth lab out of business. In Quantico, Virginia, Noelle Walker, NBC 11 News.